from the news department of the Liberia Broadcasting System. This is Newsline, a full hour of the most captivating news events taking place in Liberia and other parts of the world. Today is Wednesday, August 7, 2024. I'm Alpha Rogers anchoring. In the headlines this afternoon, Washington reaffirms support to Monrovia through enhanced diplomacy between the United States and Liberia. Justice Minister Chancellor Oswald Tue envisions equipped state prosecution team and evidence-driven indictments to get wins over losses in the prosecution of individuals.
The thing is not to persecute people, but to show that justice is meted up. So you have to gather your evidence. You have to have put your ducks in order and make sure when you go to court, you have a serious chance of winning the matter.
Husband faces police inquiry for allegedly killing his wife in Nimba County. And in Tunisia, a potential presidential candidate sentenced to 2 years in prison ahead of October's presidential election in that country. Details of this interesting Newsline post, the news in French, plus much more local and international developments all coming up. But first, we take a bulletin of news read for us by Vafle Kamara.
President Joseph Boakai says the U.S. and Liberia's relations will continue to grow from strength to strength. President Boakai said America has and will continue to be the strongest ally and supporter of Liberia's progress. The president committed the government's determination to forge a greater bond of friendship with its counterpart. The Liberian leader spoke Wednesday upon receiving a letter of credence from the United States ambassador to Liberia in Monrovia. He craved peace and mutual respect as both countries continue to solidify bilateral ties. At the same time, United States Ambassador to Liberia, Mark Turner, has called for a new chapter to be forged in bilateral ties between the two countries. Ambassador Turner said the chapter is a reaffirmation of the U.S. support to Liberia's path to development. The U.S. envoy made a commitment when he presented his letter of credence to President Joseph Boakai Wednesday in Monrovia. Ambassador Turner also pledged the U.S. commitment to supporting programs and policies that are in the best interest of citizens. Ambassador Turner replaces Michael McCarthy. At the same time, President Joseph Boakai has dismissed James Massaquoi as Deputy Education Minister of Administration with immediate effect. An executive mansion release says Mr. Massaquoi was dismissed for administrative reasons. President Boakai has also appointed Attorney Yeka Fogba, Deputy Education Minister of Administration, pending confirmation by the Senate. According to the release, the Liberian leader in a letter to Attorney Fogba expressed the trust that the newly appointed official will execute his duties with diligence and loyalty to country. Meanwhile, the Executive Mansion has named Dr. Dugba Nyan as Director General of the National Public Health Institute of Liberia. The release says Dr. Yan's nomination is based on recommendation from Enfield's board and wealth of experience in the public health sector for several years. According to an Executive Mansion release, President Boakai has also appointed Natty Davis and Wade Merchant to the board of the William V. Stutman University in Maryland County. The release said the appointments take immediate effect while urging those appointed to serve with diligence, commitment, integrity, and loyalty to country. Justice Minister Chancellor Oswald Tue says strengthening government's prosecution team is required to avoid losing cases in courts. Councillor Tue said government will invest in getting sufficient evidence before prosecuting any case or drawing up indictments against individuals. The Attorney General vowed in an ELBC interview on Wednesday, government will not risk prosecuting any case it does not have sufficient evidence.
The thing is not to persecute people, but to show that justice is meted up. So you have to gather your evidence. You have to have put your ducks in order and make sure when you go to court, you have a serious chance of winning the matter.
Councillor Tue disclosed the new strategy of government's prosecution is premised on ensuring justice is served and not based on prosecution of cases. The Justice Minister assured members of government's prosecution team are fully prepared, though there is a need for more resources. Meanwhile, Councillor Osfar Tue says pre-trial detention is impacting overcrowding at the 16 official prison facilities in the country. Councillor Tue said the government will be constructing additional prison facilities to reduce overcrowding and increase the number of correction centers. The Justice Minister told ELBC Wednesday currently the 16 prison facilities account for over 3,700 inmates.
The government, the Ministry of Justice, have obtained land long time, I think 2013, in Chismabury, 27 acres. I visited it the other day. The land is there. It's just that we have to find the resources and build a modern prison facility that will ease the overcrowdedness.
Councillor Osfar Tue said the 5-year strategic plan of the Justice Ministry includes a revised alternative dispute resolution to encourage off-court settlement. According to him, matters that should be settled out of court are being sent to court, something that is burdening court dockets and increasing pre-trial detention. Police in Nimba County are investigating a 35-year-old man, Emmanuel Sakejibo, for allegedly killing his wife. According to our correspondent, suspect Sakechibo allegedly committed an act recently June an argument over savings. A correspondent said the suspect escaped following the incident. Residents later discovered the suspect on his farm and turned him over to police in the area. Meanwhile, suspect Sakechibo has admitted to killing his wife in the same police custody awaiting court trial. Internal Affairs Minister Francis Yumale has clarified that no authorities have dissolved the National Traditional Council of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia as been speculated. Minister Yumale said the act that created the National Traditional Council of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia, headed by Chief Zanzan Kawa, was repealed when the 2018 Local Government Act became a law. He said in 2018, the Local Government Act was passed by the legislature and approved by former President George Weah on November 23, 2018.
It is in the press that Yumale has dissolved or dismissed Imperial Council, the National Traditional Council of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia. No cabinet minister or minister of internal affairs has authority to dissolve a council created by law.
Minister Yumale disclosed the 2018 law did not amend the 2012 law of the National Traditional Council of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia, but repealed and replaced by the National County Council of Chiefs. He indicated that since the passage of the Act in 2018, the National Traditional Council of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia operations ceased. Several citizens of Mowe District, Riverside County, have alarmed over the absence of police officers in the district. The residents told our correspondent since the end of the 2023 elections, only one LDA officer is in charge at the police depot in the area. Our correspondent calls the residents are saying the situation has created fear amongst them. They are calling on government through the Liberia National Police to assign officers at the Bojize town depot to curb the security situation in the area. Meanwhile, Riverside County Superintendent Baron Zanwe has confirmed the absence of police officers in the district, disclosing that the police officers escaped due to the involvement of traditional leaders. Superintendent Zanwe assured the citizens of ongoing talks with the Liberia National Police aimed at finding a solution to the situation. The Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission is rallying the operation or cooperation of local citizens in the fight against corruption. The prevention officer of LECC, John Tommy, said only a collective fight will ensure success against the menace. Mr. Tommy was speaking in Vonjama, Lofa County, Wednesday at the start of a 3-day training on social accountability and transparency in governance. He challenged the participants to do away to always report any suspicious acts of corruption in the governance of the county. The 3-day training is being implemented by LECC with support from UNDP through the Peace Building Fund. Meanwhile, local authorities in Lofa County have welcomed the extension of the LECC Social Accountability Project in the county. The Office of Lofa County Superintendent Lavala Masakwa believes Lofa, like other counties, has suffered the impact of corruption over the years. An assistant to the superintendent, Metusila Bigby, Speaking at the start of the 3-day training, called on citizens to hold their leaders accountable. He assured the superintendent and local government's commitment to transparency and accountability. Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police and Firestone Plant Protection Department, has raided several ghettos in Lower Magabi County. Correspondent said the move is intended to curb the increasing wave of criminal activities and influx of narcotic substances in the county. According to our correspondent, at least 67 individuals were arrested during the raiding exercise. The raiding exercise was carried out following the tip-off from residents of Lower Magabi County. Meanwhile, the alleged drug dealers are currently in police custody in the county. And at the same time, an official of UNDP has praised the makeup of participants selected for the ongoing training on social accountability in Vonjama, Lofa County. UNDP Civil Society Coordinator Emmanuel Colley was particularly pleased that women make up majority of the participants. Mr. Colley said women often bear the brunt of corruption. As such, getting them involved in such training cannot be overemphasized. He called on the Lofa citizens to pay serious attention to the training to acquire the requisite knowledge to hold leaders accountable for their stewardships.
Fafle Kamara and the news bulletin. He comes back later. That's when you listen to the international news. This is Newsline on State Radio. One of the big stories we're following. Justice Minister Councillor Oswald Tue, Evisions equipped state prosecution team and evidence-driven indictments to get wins over losses in the prosecution of individuals. To this one now, President Joseph Boakai says the U.S. and Liberia's relations will continue to grow from strength to strength. President Boakai said America has and will continue to be the strongest ally and supporter of Liberia's progress. The Liberian leader spoke today upon receiving the letters of credence from the United States Ambassador to Liberia in Monrovia.
Well, we are very happy to have you. America is our growth